Hi, this is footstepstyretracks and we're back with a new delivery from Amazon. It's the Eonon Q53 Pro head unit for the Eos. Let's open the box and see what we got inside. We're Mark and V, and this is our adventures. Now I've been talking directly with the company, and the only reason I didn't order directly from them is because I wanted one almost immediately, and Amazon was able to deliver it next day. So let's open this box, and I must say Eonon, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right as well. Right, so inside the box we have another box. There we are. We actually are down to the actual box, and there you can say Eonon, I think you pronounce it. Let's hope I'm right, and if I am wrong I do apologise now. And we will, that's no doubt sealed. No, it's not actually. Where is it? No, it's not. So, open it up, and what do we have first of all? We have quite a substantial handbook, well printed. Lots of information about what accessories comes with it. And I've had to buy a few extra bits and pieces, but we'll talk about that in a little while. We have information about the reverse camera. Well, that'll be a separate video because we're gonna put a flip camera on the Eos, so that'll be interesting, won't it? But that's another video. Bit of plastic. And there's the head unit. Long gone are the days when you had really big, thick, deep head units to take your CD player and everything else. They're basically just tablets these days, aren't they? Tablets with an interface for your car. And there you are. What do you think of that? Let's bring it up to the camera a bit. That looks quite nice, doesn't it? And if we have a look at the back, there's all the connections. Let's have a look and see what else we've got in the box. Put it back in there for a minute. To inside. We're actually going to install it as well today. So in here, I must say the packaging is really quite tidy as well. The plastic bags feel relatively good quality. Not that plastic's a good thing anymore, but let's empty that one out. Oh my, we've got lots of bits in here. Got a GPS puck. That is the loom that connects to the car. There's quite a lot of that in there. We'll have to have a good read. I believe that's talks to the ECU, but we'll find out. We have a USB cable. We have two USB cables. We have a mic, but I'm really hoping that the built-in mic on the car will work. And I'm not entirely sure what that is, but we will find out. And a fuse and a sticky pad. But there was also another bag with it as well, wasn't there? Right, let's see what we got in here. This was extra to the actual radio, but it was in the same box, so we'll find out what this is. That is the DAB radio. So there's a DAB radio, there's an aerial. However, I will be using the built-in aerial, and that is what this parcel here should be. Just like Christmas, isn't it? And in here, yes. In here is a cable to connect the car aerial to the dongle. So I think the next step will be to go to the car, remove the old stereo, and then start installing the new one. So we're in the car. Pick a hottest day of the year to do this, I think, and so I'll try and bring the shade over me a little bit. Right, so the first thing we got to do, this is standard VW console of sort of from Mark 5 Golfs up to I think about 2013. So you know, Eoses, Golfs, Passats, pretty much T5s, I think early T6s, all have a similar sort of idea. You know, much of the VW range, you know, I'm saying certain models, but much of the range. Now, this trim has to be removed, and then there'll be 4 screws that allow you to remove the stereo. So don't use a screwdriver when you're doing this. Don't go in and dig with a screwdriver because you will wreck it. One of the easiest things to do is get a credit card. You can see where I've been using it before, actually. It's an old credit card. And just dig them in and then twist them just to get in behind. You should be able to get your nails in and slowly work around. I'm going to do this one-handed, so just come around very slowly. You don't want to break it. You can just undo all the clips as we go around. They're coming out, you can see. I'm just being a bit cautious because I'm doing it one-handed. It's not as easy as doing it two-handed. See that clip there? There he is, he's released. Well, let's be very careful there, that clip's come out. There it is. Right, I said to you there was 4 screws. There's one there, one there, one there, and one there. And they're Torx screws. So I'm just going to go get my Torx kit now. The Torx screws are T20s. Now we talked about the unit earlier on, the new unit, how small it was in comparison to old units. When I remove this one, you'll see what we're talking about. This is going to be quite huge. But it's got a CD player in it, or a DVD player in it. And their discs have to go somewhere, don't they? Gently pull forward. He will come out. There he comes. We're leaning forward. You've got various different connectors. That's your aerial. That's your GPS. And over here, try and turn around. Don't know if I'm going to be able to show you. Now, I've removed that one. I didn't do it on camera. I forgot to turn the camera back on. You can see there's a little clip underneath. Locked into position. Flip him up. There he is. Just lift that tag. Hopefully you can see that. He comes up and he releases. There's a little catch there. Do it. Hopefully you can see it. So I'm going to push my nail in there. So it's lifting that tag. And there he is, he's off. So that's the stereo out. So there we have the wiring harness, aerial, that's FM and DAB aerial, that's GPS. So there we are, there's our digital radio aerial, digital radio receiver. You see there's a little tiny receiver there. And that means we will actually pick up through the aerial on the screen. Now, normally they come up the edge of the windscreen. So we don't need any more of that. And when we get to the setup side, it's going to be a completely separate video for doing the majority of the setup, because I think there's quite a lot to do. So we're going to split up into two videos. This is going to be literally connecting, powering up and doing the basics. And of course we will be taking it all out again at some stage, because we will be connecting a dash cam, we will be connecting a reversing cam, and what else will we be connecting? It's probably all we'll be connecting to the stereo. And I would like to put fast charging USB ports in the car as well. So this is all a little project. We'll do all little different videos for this, so it's all nice and easy to follow. So what I've done is I've just connected it all up. Two things I haven't connected yet is the USB connections and the DAB radio, because the connections look like there's already a DAB radio tuner built in. We'll have to wait and see what happens here, because I'm not sure. So let's turn the ignition on so you can see it for the first time with me. Starts up really quickly, doesn't it? Okay, so FM radio works. Let's go into maps. Of course, we have no Wi-Fi at the moment either. So let me go and set a few things up, like Wi-Fi, Google Play, and we'll come back. Okay, so I've set up the Wi-Fi. I've set up the Google Play. However, I do think I'm going to create a separate account just for the car. So it don't confuse whether I'm using it or these using it, and then it looks like we're in different places where we're not, through locations and things like that. I booted it up quickly, and the first thing I noticed is that it doesn't recognise a DAB tuner, so I presume one of these is going to be the one that works. So we'll connect the DAB tuner to the USB. I think we may end up having to have a little USB hub in here, because there'll be a couple of devices connected to USB and we just won't have enough USB imports. I've done it before, so I don't think that's going to be an issue. The biggest issue is going to be how we connect this aerial and the FM aerial. Do we still want FM? Do we just want DAB? Anyway, for the minute, what we're going to do is we're going to just connect the two USB cables. So that's one. That's the one with the DAB, and then we'll have the other one. And I think what we will do is we'll get ourselves a little USB hub, just a 4-port hub, so it gives us a little bit more to play with. So this will do just for the moment. We will also use the supplied UPS puck because it involves another cable else, so we'll just try doing it this way. I'm hoping that maybe we can mount him just up here somewhere. I'm not sure how good the signal will be, but we can try it, and if it's not very good, I'm sure we could bring it up into the car somewhere. Up and behind there, that could block the signal. We'll see what happens. We can always move it. So I'm just going to connect all this up, put it all back together, and then we'll boot up again and see where we are. All connected back up. Let's power them back up. Do we have to switch the ignition on first? Now that logo, you can change that to whatever logo you want. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to do it. It's quite simple. And we're back. Not quite sure why. I've disconnected the USB, reconnected it, and hopefully you can see there now it's powered up. Gone back into the app, and it seems to be scanning. So I'm going to very carefully just put that back. The great thing with the unit being so small, really, in thickness. So that's scanning for channels at the moment, and I know as soon as it comes on I'm going to have to play down the sound, but you'll know it's connecting. There will be further videos because obviously I'm going to do the camera. That's going to have to be cabled in. I want to have the USB available here. Like I said, I want to have, I'm going to have to put a little USB hub in there. So we will do that. Now we're going to be going to the north coast in not too long. So I want to get the basic setup done. And it put back in. It's been relatively easy. I think possibly reading the manual would be even better. But what I want this video is all about installing it, putting it back in, and so you can see the look of it when it's all finished. I know it works. The next video will be setting up all the extra bits and pieces to go with it. From what I can see, it talks to the car's ECU, so there's going to be quite a lot of things it can show on the screen. So that'll be the next video. So you can see all the logos are now updating. And I think what we'll do as well is we'll work out how to have a nice looking display, because you want it to look like it's something you've paid a lot of money for, not a cheap tablet you've just shoved in your car and it, you know, works. And believe me, I've done that in the past. So there we are, look, you can see all the different radio stations are there. So we just scanned and they're all coming up. Lots and lots and lots of them. So I'm quite happy with that. That's a really strong signal as well. That's good. So I'm happy with that. I can't say I like the default layout much. I want to show you one last bit, and that's going to be how to change the startup logo. We're just going to put it all back together now, and we'll come back in a minute, and we will have to open up and take it out again, and we will tidy up the cabling when we do that as well. I'll put some Velcro wraps in there just to keep all the cabling nice and tidy, and we'll start thinking about where we're going to feed cables to. Obviously you know, we're going to have a reversing camera. I want a dash cam, although the dash cam will be powered slightly different. You've seen my Halo install in the Passat, and if you haven't, I'll put a link up there for you so you can go and see that. We'll be doing exactly the same install on here, and in fact we'll be using the same Halo camera, unless of course Halo would like to get hold of me, supply me with a new dash cam, and I'll install that instead. Well, there we are. We've installed it. I won't say we've set it up as we want it yet, but it's installed. And we'll turn the ignition on. Well, there you are. Now, we don't want to see that every time, do we? So we're going to say there will be lots of things. Now, you're seeing a few things come up there. I'm not really sure quite why they're coming up at the moment, but that's going to be the next step of what we do. There we are. We have Waze as a navigation app. We have digital radio. And all we're going to do now is we're going to work out how to configure the rest of the bits and pieces. It's all sat in there. I think it looks quite good. I think we will look for a better design screen, and that will come in the second video. Like I said, we're going to show you how to set it up for what we want, and I'm setting it up for ease of use, not for a complicated, you know, someone who's going to really, like, you know, be a power user. I'm going to set it up so when V drives his car, it works. Her phone will connect. She can select the radio, she can select Spotify, she can navigate really easily and do voice communication as well to it as well. So it's all very simple, and we got multifunction steering wheel, so we will look at configuring that so that works as well. Really hot at the moment as well. You know, we've just come back from Indonesia and it feels really hot here, although the wind just chill it off very quickly in the evenings. Anyway, you're not worried about that, are you? You're worried about the head unit. And so far, the Eonon head unit, the Q53 Pro, has proven to be quite a nice unit. Liking it, guys. Okay, so the last part of this video, and this, believe me, this has been a long time coming. It's taken me nearly a week to get to this part. I've had issues with connecting to the second USB on the device because I insisted on putting a USB hub in there, and it's only occurred to me today that it just cannot work with a USB hub. I've tried it without a USB hub and we're there. So now I'm going to show you how to do the boot logo. Now this is just the boot logo we're going to go for, and if you go into the size, I'm just going to go into the image and I'm going to this size. They tell you it's 720 by 1280, and I thought, well, they've obviously got that wrong, haven't they, when they've told me the information. However, think about it, we're dealing with a tablet, and a tablet is normally in portrait mode, not in landscape mode. So we're gonna go through and do another, I'm gonna show you how to do it from scratch. So I'm gonna say, okay, so we got a new image there, so I'm just going to change the image size. So we're going to go to adjustments, we're going to go to image size, and we want to go to 720 and 1280. Okay, and we're just going to increase that in size so we can see it. So there we are, that's the image size we want to work with. I'm going to have a black background, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put a second layer in, take a fill bucket there and paint it black. Now we want an image. You could pull an image from anywhere you want, whatever you want to do. So we're going to create another layer. Bear in mind, you don't have to use Adobe Photoshop. You can use absolutely any program you want. The important thing is the size, 720 across the top and 1280 along the side. So we're going to pull in the image here. So I'm gonna actually cut this image, but what I could do is I could also go from another image as well. But I'm literally going to copy this image, then I'm going to go in and I'm going to paste it, and you see it's too big. So I'm going to select it, and I'm going to go to free transform, and I can do this. But it all goes funny shaped, doesn't it? Now if I hold the shift key, this is in Adobe Photoshop mind you, and I start moving it, there you are, we can move it as big as we want. But we're going to be looking at the screen the other way, aren't we? So we want to turn it. So we're just going to hold down the shift key and turn it into that position there. Now we can move it around. That is central. How big do we want the image? Probably about that size, I think. So I'm happy with that, and that's what I'm going to go for. You could have absolutely anything you want. The thing that does feel strange is the fact that the image is like that because it's in portrait mode. Doesn't feel right. I'll go down to the car now. I'm going to save this, and this is the next important thing. So we're going to go to File, Save. Just get a USB stick, plug him in. And hopefully that's going to appear available. There we are, Mark Drive. And I want to save it as a PNG format. That is what they've told me it has to be saved as. So I'm going to call this, Das Auto, PNG. And there's already one there which we'd done previously. Oh, my drive. There's Das Auto. I'm going to call it Das Auto 1 because I want to show you the difference when I'm actually installing it. So I'll call it Das Auto 1. I'll save that. And I want to show you the difference between on the other USB stick I've got down there. I want to show you just how different it looks when you try and install it. Okay, so we're back up at the computer yet again. This is a very slow process, but we're going to get it right. Now, we saw this was upside down, didn't we? So all we want to do is we want to go to Image, and we want to rotate it. So we want to rotate it by 180 degrees, don't we? And that's all we got to do. So then we'll save that again, and literally go back to the car. So I'm just going to save that, and we'll go back to the car, and we're back in the car. And now we'll just go back to the settings. We'll come down to factory. We're going to have to be quick because the farmer is starting to plough something up in his field opposite, so he's going to be noisy. 2, 3, 4, 8. Confirm. Logo settings. And there we are. Look at that. Volkswagen Das Auto. And you can make that bigger if you wanted. I'm quite happy with that. That looks quite neat and tidy. So that will be our boot up from now on. So we're just going to say logo setting, and that has been saved. So there we are. Now if I was to go restart, confirm the restart, just come in so you can see it, and there we have it. How much nicer does that look when it's booting up? Still get the power by Android, you can't get rid of that. But there we go. Well, there we are. That's the stereo installed, and we've been using it now for about a week, and we're really impressed with it. Before I go though, I wanted to show you, we were talking about that image being upside down. So let me just go in and show you that. I've got the door open as well, let me just close that. I'm going to have to open the windows because it is the hottest day of the year apparently, so far. So we're going to go in and we're just going to show you again. We're going to go back to factory and we can use either 8888 or 123456. And if we go to the logo settings, now we got, as you can see there, I've got the memory stick in. Now that is the one we're using, and when we did one earlier, unfortunately I've not got it here, that's the ones that were done in the portrait mode, or they were done landscape mode, so they end up being portrait mode. And we had one that was upside down that you saw me correct just now, just so you're aware of how that's all happened. Anyway, let's get out of that, go back home. Hopefully, you know, this has been interesting. There's going to be another video coming of setting up the head unit and going through a few bits and pieces. I've also started looking into different launchers as well, so we'll probably show that as well, and that'll be another separate video. But thanks for watching. I really hope this has been informative, and see you in the next video, guys. Oh, and by the way, if you've only just found us, please consider subscribing and give a video a like. We really appreciate it. Hopefully we'll see you in the next video, guys. Look after yourselves. See you later.